To prove it, I'm ready to do it, I can't be afraid now. Put me on the stage now, I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to race to the top. I'm ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real, I'm feeling so ruthless. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Yeah. So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made of. Get in the game, your moment of fame, show them what you made of. It's time that we stand up, it's time that we man up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up. My time, nothing can keep me from reaching the top. This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride. I'm ready to throw down, it's time for the showdown. I'm ready to rise, don't be surprised, I'll take on the world now. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown, we know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top, we're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown, we know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top, we're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real.
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Live tonight from the virtual Kansas Speedway, we say good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to round number 10 of the 2019 Ricmotech Cup Series on LSR TV and the iRacing Esports Network. Hi, I'm Taylor Burris, and with me in the booth today is Steve Bonesteel. Behind the scenes is our director, Hugo Luis. Steve, we are in Kansas here tonight under the lights, and I tell you what, this race is definitely going to be a good one, especially watching in practice today. It's almost going to seem like a little bit of a miniature Daytona, but to give the viewers a little bit more information about Kansas and what to expect tonight, why don't you tell them a little bit more about this great racetrack?
Well, on tap tonight, we've got 155 laps, but Kansas Motor Speedway was recently repaved, and with the way that iRacing works, you've got almost a permanent state of repave here with tons of grip on the racetrack. I really do suspect we'll see a lot of guys running that high line and definitely not having to do a lot of checking up. Between the new package and the pavement being fresh here, this 1.5 mile track is definitely going to be a mini Daytona here tonight under the lights. It's going to be a ton of fun.
It most certainly will be. But to give you guys a chance to see what it is like about this series, what this series is all about, here's a quick little bit of notes. This is a 10-race regular season with a 5-race chase playoff system. It is a fixed setup here, so the drivers have their own certain setup that is given to them for them to critique and use, but they have a little bit of less fuel on the car. 0 reset, so if you break it, you bought it. With 2 provisionals in the regular season, none in the chase, however. Dynamic weather and track state will be used, and of course, with the playoffs, the top 12 will advance, and I tell you what, there's quite a lot on the line for that final spot in the playoff, as 14 points separated from the 9th position to the 15th position there, Steve. That's going to be something to look forward to tonight.
Yes, for sure, and with the chase just 1 race away, looking at all those point standings, you've got about 8 drivers within a stone's throw of each other, and notably Alan Fox down 6 positions, John Sterling up 5 in the points, and then you also got to watch drivers like Scottless Rambler, who had a tough week last week at Daytona. He's fallen back in the points now as well.
It is going to be very difficult to watch. As we saw in practice, a lot of drivers taking it 3, even 4 wide with the draft, so we could see some very heavy hitters being taken out early in this race. That's something to keep an eye on. Well, the field is getting ready to take out onto the track, so you know what that means. It is time for your Ricmotech starting lineup. Starting on your pole position with a lap time of 30.182 will be Alan Fox. Alongside him will be John Sterling. In the 3rd position will be Jay Pryor, followed by Gary May in 4th. Travis Pryor will start in the 5th position with Ed Morris starting 6th. Michael Mueller starting in the 7th position. He was a winner at the Dover International Speedway a couple of weeks ago, with Adam Eisenhower in the 8th position. Darren Clements will start in 9th, and rounding out your top 10, Jason Eisenhower.
Right behind him, starting in 11th, will be Tommy Haynes in the number 17 machine, followed by Mike Rominger. M. Scottless Rambler will be rolling off in 13th, followed by Rob Haynes, Joshua Gillen, Jerry Glenn, Randy Perdue, Bryce Senesac, and then Tyler Hallman in 19th, and then to round out the top 20 will be David Weishart.
As we go through the rest of the field, 21st will be David Elliott with Nick Hunt 22nd, and rounding out your 23 car field will be Mike Franklin.
And with that, the pace car is rolling off of pit lane, and we are getting ready to go green flag racing here at Kansas Speedway. And it's definitely going to be an interesting opening start to the race, and it does get tough to pass here at Kansas, so I think it's going to be very important for drivers to make those moves early.
It will be, because we will see a lot of drivers definitely going to be very aggressive at the start and restarts of these races. I mean, this track has proven, whether if we saw in the NIS races or other events, that this track will definitely be quite very traffic jam throughout most of this race.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see a couple different styles of racing. Of course, early on, you'll have everything with the fresh tires and tons of grip, but as the race goes on, you'll start to get a little bit of an aero push. These tires, they're going to get hot, and you're going to be slipping and sliding.
Well, the field now is coming out at turns 3 and 4. Alan Fox, your race leader in that number 73, as the pace car pulls down pit road. Waiting for the green flag. The green flag is out. It is time to get extreme here at Kansas Speedway. As we see the likes of Alan Fox starting to pull away from the field, but he has to be careful of that draft that will come into play within the next half a lap now. As to second right now will be the 80 of Jay Pryor, as John Sterling is stuck up on the top side, as the 81 of Travis Pryor will follow suit in third.
I think this is one of the first weeks I've seen both the Pryors start inside the top 10, so that's definitely a different dynamic this week as they go off into 3 and 4. Everybody really top 5 trying to hug the inside line, and then you've got a couple of cars 2x2, and coming through the tri-oval, or I guess you really can't even call it the tri-oval, Alan Fox crosses the line for the first lap and 3 wide as they jostle for position.
Up a little bit of checkup. Looks like the likes of the 86 car of Adam Eisenhower got a little bit too loose coming in the middle of 1 and 2. He had to check up just a little bit. That caused a little bit of contact between him and Gary May and that 10 car as they're going into 3 and 4. Still going to be 2x2 between as they go back. Now single file all the way back to the 12th position.
And right now, taking a look in that 4th position, Michael Mueller in that number 27 car looks pretty loose there right in front of John Sterling. It looks like he's having a hard time trying to get that machine under him here as we're starting to single file. Alan Fox leads another lap, and here comes a big run with the number 27, followed by Sterling. He looks up to the high side going into 3. He's going to make the attempt. Will he be able to do anything with it, though?
He's going to try to side draft one of the Pryor brothers as they come off of turn 4, but he has absolutely no help right now. Looks like the 32 car of Darren Clements is going to try to help, along with the 3 of John Sterling. Now it's going to be 2 cars on the outside as we see Sterling backing off a little bit. Now here goes the likes of Michael Mueller now outside, still going backwards now, dropping back to 5th position as they go down the back straightaway.
And he's going to try to find that hole right there in front of Eisenhower in the number 86 machine. He falls behind Sterling, and now he looks back up to the high side and then right down in the middle. Now here comes the 86 on his inside. As look at the rubber band effect. Here comes the rest of the field. 3 wide there, midfield, the 57. Scottless Rambler in the middle, coming through the middle.
Remember, Scottless Rambler had a tough week last round at Daytona, so he needs to try to keep it as clean and get as many points as he can to try to keep a cushion in order to make the playoffs. So we'll have to keep an eye and see what he is able to do as they're now coming out of a 3 wide out of turns 3 and 4. You see Rambler stuck on the inside with the likes of Jason Eisenhower on his outside as the likes now back up to the front. The 3 car is going to get a run to get by one of the Pryor brothers.
Yeah, Sterling's looking on the outside. He's pinching a little bit, and the number 80 machine, Jay Pryor, slipping up the track slightly. Coming down the back straightaway, he's got the side draft, and he's also got the 27 of Mueller behind him. Going into 3, they're still side by side. The number 80 gives Alan Fox a little bit of a shot, and they stay side by side coming off the corner.
It is still Alan Fox, your race leader, as it's 2x2 between 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. As Mueller gets a little bit loose, trying to give Sterling a push as they go in the middle of 1 and 2. That's going to cause one of the Pryor brothers to back off now. Here comes Sterling high on the outside as he's going to go side by side with Fox down the back straightaway.
And he's got a run going into 3. Will Fox be able to hold him off on the inside line? I think we're going to start seeing these cars start to migrate a little bit to that middle, higher side. Still side by side coming off the corner. It's going to be a drag race coming to the line here on lap 8. Well, coming to lap 8. And that one was John Sterling by just a hair.
What a great push that he got from Mueller as they're now going into turns 1 and 2. It is still going to be Sterling and Fox side by side. Now Mueller takes a peek to the outside. He might try to take it 3 wide, but thinks twice of it. He's going to still work with Sterling as they go into 3 and 4. Sterling drops down to the bottom of the racetrack, your new race leader.
And the reason we're seeing so many of these cars have to start backing out of it mid-corner is that aero tightness I mentioned before the race. As the run goes on, these tires, they heat up, you lose a little bit of that grip, and when you're tucked up behind someone, you lose that downforce, and it's hard to keep the car planted. You have to crack the throttle there, and now we're still side by side. Now Mueller trying to pass Fox, and Fox is going to have to deal with, first time for the night, dirty air, but Scottless Rambler on the 3rd lane, making passes, trying to make his way to the top 5.
High, wide, and handsome, Scottless Rambler is now trying to get back inside the top 5 as he's working to try to get by Mike Rominger as they go into turn 1. Rominger then drops to the inside. Rambler still going to stay up in that 3rd lane right there as he's trying to close the gap on Pryor as he's able to get by Rominger. As here comes now Adam Eisenhower going to try to throw the block but can't quite do it. Rambler just has too much momentum on his side.
And I'm really liking that 3rd line because he's got fresh air up there. No aero tightness to deal with for Rambler. They're still side by side. He drops in behind Eisenhower. He looks up to the high side again, going into 1 and 2. He's got the run. Eisenhower gets a little loose and almost comes down on Fox. Alan Fox is going to have to check out of it. And here comes Mueller for the lead.
Mueller up on the top side. Here comes Rambler as well up on that 3rd lane. He's going to try to get to upside, but can't quite make it work. Mueller, though, goes to the front of the leaderboard right now as they come off of turn 4, along with the likes of that 86 car of Adam Eisenhower, who moves to 2nd. And here comes Rambler following in the slipstream of those two.
And if you thought tonight you could step away from the screen at any given moment, that is going to not be the case here. It is going to be a lot of hard, heavy racing here as Alan Fox down on the apron.
Look at this. Here comes Eisenhower down to the bottom of the racetrack. They're going to go side by side between him and Michael Mueller. Scottless Rambler still going to be stuck on the inside or outside with Mueller as Rambler is trying to find a way, just can't quite make it work.
And now with Mueller, he's up in that 3rd lane with him, and he's going to kind of keep that clean air to himself in the number 27 machine. Big run down the back straightaway, and here comes the number 29 of Rob Haynes as well.
Rob Haynes and that FEG Camaro trying to get to the back bumper of Rambler as we see Adam Eisenhower, pretty much that only car on the inside lane. Here comes the likes now of that 29 car of Rob Haynes, tries to go to that middle group with a little bit of help from the 17 of Tommy Haynes. Ooh, Rambler into the wall on the outside. It's going to cause a check up in turns 1 and 2.
And Rambler's going to have to be careful with that. Kansas is not a place you need any type of aerodynamic damage. I think he pretty much escaped anything significant off of that bump, but had it been much harder, he would be in trouble.
He's able to recover now, trying to get by John Sterling for 3rd position. Here comes the likes of the 29 of Rob Haynes now with his teammate, or the 17 of Tommy Haynes behind as they go out to the high side again through the middle of turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway is still going to be Michael Mueller and Eisenhower, then Rambler, your top 3, as the 29 of Rob Haynes is going to try to slipstream by the likes of John Sterling, but can't quite make it work. Now Rambler goes to the bottom of the track.
For a moment there, I thought we were going to go 4 wide with Sterling on the inside. Rambler gets loose off the corner. Eisenhower still looking underneath of that number 27. Going into 1, he's in the middle line. The 27, Mueller's on the high side. And nothing happening quite yet. Still dead even coming down the back straightaway.
Mueller with that high side, building up that momentum he needs to try to hold off the likes of Eisenhower and Sterling. But here comes Sterling to give a little bit of a push to Eisenhower as they go into 3 and 4. They're going to be side by side after they come off turn 4 down the front straightaway. I think Eisenhower might be able to lead this lap as they come across the line. Yes, Eisenhower, new race leader as they go into 1.
It's going to get tight going into 1. You got the 27 Mueller all the way up to the outside wall. Almost catches it there, but he holds on to it. Now he's got that momentum down the back straightaway. He fights back with Eisenhower on his inside. The number 3 machine of John Sterling looks on from behind as well as Rambler. And then everybody else in this top 10 within 1 second of each other all the way back to the 12th position.
Are you sure we're not at Daytona here, Steve? I mean, these drivers are just absolutely putting on a great show right now here for us, as we still see Eisenhower and Mueller going side by side down the back straightaway.
I'm not gonna lie, I think we might have a little more passing and a little more racing action here at Kansas tonight than we did at Daytona. This new package at Daytona is kind of a pain, but the new package here at Kansas is a ton of fun. As you can see, these drivers not holding anything back here. The last race until the chase, getting tight again for the lead there as Eisenhower goes all the way up to Mueller on the 27 machine, down the inside yet again, and they go side by side for another lap, and there's that outside run. Here comes Ramler looking to Eisenhower's outside, and kind of stalls out with that dirty air, trying to get around the 27 and the inside line, but nowhere to go.
Ramler's kind of stuck right now. He had a great first couple of laps just taking it up to the high side, but now that he sees the likes of Mueller noticing that same strategy, he's going to follow suit and try to take that clean air away from Ramler. That's going to cause a lot of difficulties for him. Ramler's going to have to try to find a different way to get around the likes of Mueller and Eisenhower as they go down the back straightaway.
Yeah, what Ramler's really hoping for is to get a slight break there as Sterling slips up the track with aero tightness, almost clips the 29, almost clips the 17, and he's going to fall back outside of the top 5.
Unfortunate, but with that, that's going to move the 17 of Tommy Haynes into the top 5. Now Rambler was able to clear Eisenhower just for a brief moment as they go into turns 1 and 2. There's the aero tightness coming into play for Rambler. He's going to have to back off. They're still going to be side by side. Now he gets the run he needs. Now it's going to be Eisenhower and Haynes going side by side into 3 and 4.
And as we watch all of these drivers battling it out, so many of these drivers are racing for points positions to get into the chase. Almost 12 points separating about 6 drivers, and every single position counts here. As it looks like the 17 is going to catch the wall. He keeps it going, no problem, but every time you hit that wall, it hurts your car a little bit more.
Yes, indeed, as Jay Pryor was able to move back inside the top 5 after starting in the 3rd position, as he's going to try to hold off the likes of Tommy Haynes. It is now single file pretty much for the top 4, with Pryor and Haynes trying to get followed back in line. So let's take a look a little bit further back in the field. There's a little bit of a battle going on for that 8th position between the likes of Rominger and the likes of Jason Eisenhower as they're going side by side coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, you've also got Travis Pryor right there trying to make his way back up towards the top 5. He's kind of stuck just like a couple of drivers are, really nowhere to go. He's looking in the middle right now. He's got Jason Eisenhower in front of him, and then the number 9 of Rominger on his inside. The 81 looks up to the high side, nowhere to go up there. And he's just kind of looking down to the inside now. Big dive out of the number 81 machine, and he's not going to be able to clear him.
No, he is not. He's going to have to try to find another way as he sees one of his teammates in front of him try. That's going to be his brother of Jay Pryor up in front of him, but could not quite get close enough to utilize the draft. Now the 17 goes to the inside of the racetrack now as they come off of turn 4. That's Tommy Haynes. He's able to almost clear the 86 of Adam Eisenhower, but can't quite do it just yet. They're going to be side by side as they go into turn 1.
And one thing we really haven't talked about tonight is green flag pit stops, and that right there could be one of the biggest factors. With the way that this league is set up, with only having 75% fuel, you'll be pitting pretty often tonight. I think we'll have 3 to 4 pit stops, and we'll have to see who can get out and have a little bit of an advantage over someone else. There's not a ton of tire fall off here. There is a bit, but it's not very extreme, only maybe a half of a second at tops at the end of the run.
Yeah, early on at the start of the race, these drivers were running close around inside the 29-second bracket, low to mid 29s. Now they're starting to run the low to mid 30-second brackets right now. So about a second fall off currently for some of the top 5 as they are completing lap 25 of the 155 laps here at Kansas Speedway.
And as Mueller leads the pack right now, Ramler looks on behind him. He did scrape the wall a little bit earlier today, so he's probably going to be a little more conservative with that number 57 machine, especially needing to make up some points. Rob Haynes sits there right behind him in 3rd. and then Adam Eisenhower 4th with John Sterling in 5th, and we're all starting to migrate up to that high side. You've got a couple of guys trying to make those passes down on the inside. Kind of hard to do at this point of the run because you'll have everyone on the high side with a good bit of momentum, and then not only that, but you have to find a place to slide back up as well.
Yes, indeed, and that's what's going to be some difficult for some of these drivers who try to go to the inside lane. If they can't find a hole, they're going to lose multiple positions, such as, for example, our pole sitter of Alan Fox. He's dropped all the way back to the 11th position, so he has quite a little bit of work to do here tonight.
Taking a look a little bit further back in the field at the likes of Bryce Senesac, Tyler Hallman, David Weishart, they're sitting there 13th on back.
Ooh, trouble for the 86 of Adam Eisenhower. He just clipped the wall pretty hard. That's going to cause a big checkup, such as John Sterling, causing the rest of the field to catch back up.
And just like I said, every time you hit that wall, it's going to not only cost you, but everyone around you when you have to check up. Everyone does a really nice job up there towards the top part of the field. Oh, contact!
Trouble! That's going to be one of the Pryor brothers. I couldn't quite. The 80 of Jay Pryor. He's trying to save control of the car. Does a great recovery, but he's going to lose a lot of time now as the rest of the field outside the top 10 is going to come by him.
And that one's going to be tough for him down to the inside. He did hold on to it. He gets it back going, but he's going to lose about 10 spots off of that.
Keep an eye on see where Jay Pryor is going to end up as he crosses the start-finish line. He's in the middle of 3 and 4, but the good news is he does have that fast race car. He's going to try to utilize the slipstream. He hasn't lost the draft completely. As he comes across the line, he is down to 21st position. So the good news is it is early for him, so he could make up some of that ground before tonight's over with.
And it'll be interesting to see if we get cautions, how they fall. Do we get cautions breeding more cautions? What do we watch for there? And if we do, I think pit strategy could be interesting with the way that this track works. You can really take 2 tires and you can kind of make it work if you can hold on to a loose race car. So we'll have to see what these guys look to do. Rambler still sitting there in second, trying to make something happen with the leader. And then Rob Haynes right behind him. And really, only side-by-side passing you're seeing is, the battle's right up inside the top 10, but it's so hard to actually complete a pass that, you fall back in line and you have to keep doing it. But it looks like the 17 of Tommy Haynes, he does pass the 86 this time. So finally, after laps of trying, he's able to clear him for that spot.
Right behind them is the battle for that 6th position between John Sterling and Jason Eisenhower, plus also the 81 of Travis Pryor. They're going to go side by side coming off of turn 2. But with that help of the draft, Pryor was able to push Eisenhower past Sterling as they go into 3 and 4.
I'm really watching that number 17 of Tommy Haynes, and he's really one of the only guys inside the top 10 that's able to actually make passes on the inside. I see he's trying to make it work even when he's not making passes. Well, that time he heard me talking about him, so he stays up high. But that number 17's been trying that inside line, and he is tracking down the top 3. So I think between having a fast car and having the draft, that number 17 is coming up to the top 3, and he's going to try to make something happen here on the inside of the 29, and they're going to go side by side down the front stretch.
Side by side, we see Rob and Tommy Haynes going to go side by side before they go into turn 1. That yellow 17 car against the 29 black Ford Mustang. Haynes is able, the likes of Tommy Haynes, able to complete the pass on Rob Haynes as they go down the back straightaway.
And now look at this, a couple of drivers diving it down to the inside after they saw Haynes using it, and actually no, pit stops.
Ooh, this is going to be close. Some of these drivers having to check up quite hard, causing a little bit of issues, almost spinning out the 57 of Rambler, and Mueller and Haynes almost made contact. So our top 3 is going to come down pit road. This will be critical to determine how well these drivers are going to be able to get back out on the track ahead of the lead lap cars.
And then Tyler Hallman, in the number 52 machine had troubles getting on pit road. He hit the commitment cone. He might even have a penalty.
And it looks like the rest of the field is also going to start coming down pit road, the likes of the 17 car. That's going to be our current race leader of Tommy Haynes, because it's going to be coming down pit road this time by. as well as the likes of Adam Eisenhower and Jason Eisenhower. So here comes our former race leaders of Mueller, Haynes, and Ramler as they are coming off pit road.
And it looks like Tommy Haynes this time by will be coming down, and 81 of Travis Pryor and other drivers following him down as well. Here comes Rominger. So within a matter of just a couple of laps, the whole field brings her down pit road.
Great to see green flag pit stops here at Kansas Speedway. A lot of great driving going on for a lot of them. As currently, as pit stop cycle is going on, Jerry Glenn will be your new race leader. And it's going to be a matter of time to determine where the rest of the leaders were going to turn out once we get done with these green flag pit stops. As we try to find our current race leader, that is going to be the 98 of Jerry Glenn in his Chevy Camaro. He's staying out on the racetrack, looks like. Nope, going to come down pit road this time by. The unfortunate thing is he's all by himself, so he will have no drafting help whatsoever as he is trying to work his way back up through the field.
And some of the drivers trying to come off pit road, they're going to be coming up right behind the top three that first came down pit road, including Adam Eisenhower there. But you've got the 27 machine, Mueller, followed by number 29 of Haynes, and then M. Scottless Ramler. They're still up there running bumper to bumper on the high side, and it looks like the number 27 of Mueller will cycle through probably here to be the leader.
As they come across the line, as we wait for timing and scoring to catch up, it is still going to be Jerry Glenn right now as your race leader, but this time probably by it will be Michael Mueller this coming lap by. As we try to find the 98, he's probably still out coming off pit road. We have a caution here going into turn one. That's the 40 of Joshua Gillen. Has spun the car around and made hard contact with the outside wall. As we take a look on our LSR TV replay.
Wow, and what a hard hit it was. Not even sure what happened to the number 40 of Gillen. Going off into the corner there, he was tucked up right behind a couple of cars, and the back end just loops around on him. He almost hits the inside cars and up into the wall. Very, very hard hit for that number 40 machine.
Yes, unfortunate for him. He was running pretty decent around the top 15, around the top 20, but with that damage, that's going to drop him quite a ways back, and with that aero damage he has, he's not going to have a very competitive car. So we are on lap 40 of our 155 lap race here. We just had our first caution after the green flag pit stop. So the question is going to be, is anybody going to come down to get the fuels and tires now since we're under a caution period? And then the answer will be yes. Everybody, by the looks of it, will be coming down pit road here at Kansas Speedway.
And now the big question mark is going to be who takes two tires and who doesn't. If you're Alan Fox, a driver who missed last week's race and fell outside the top 10 at one point this race, maybe you take two tires and get back up towards the front. We'll see.
And looking up towards the front of the field, a couple of drivers have decided to stay out, as it looks like the 52 of Tyler Holloman will be your lucky dog here. But Darren Clements, Jerry Glenn, David Elliott, Gary May have stayed out as Rob Haynes won the race off pit road.
And it looks like Ed Morris in the number 7 car might have missed his pit stall there. So unfortunately for him, no tires, no fuel on that run down pit road.
Once the field comes around, we'll give you a quick little look at your top 10 here at Kansas Speedway. We have just completed 41 laps here, after we just had a caution with the likes of the 40 car of Joshua Gillen getting loose, hitting the wall, and causing our first caution here tonight at Kansas Speedway. Some of the drivers have decided to come down pit road, such as our lead cars, the likes of Rob Haynes, Michael Mueller, and Scott Ramler. Now the rest of the field is going to also come down pit road, so that will now exchange the lead to Rob Haynes.
And all of that tight racing we had the first 25, 30 laps, get ready to see it yet again when we go back to green flag racing. It's going to be Rob Haynes, the number 29 machine, leading them to the green flag, followed by the 27 of Mueller, Alan Fox, then Ramler and Eisenhower is your top 5. And we'll just have to see here what we get on this restart. I think we'll have much of what we saw on the original race start here on this restart.
I could agree with you 100% on that. Great tight racing action here at Kansas Speedway. As the drivers are getting ready to circle around, this should be our 2 to green, and this time by we should be getting the 1 to go. So I hope everyone is enjoying a great race here at Kansas Speedway. Make sure to leave a like and also hit that big red subscribe button to get all the latest iRacing action here on LSR TV and the iRacing Esports Network. From everything from the Peak Antifreeze series to many more, from IndyCar, Formula One, rally racing, sports car and endurance racing, as well as the World of Outlaws series. Make sure you catch all the racing action on the iRacing Esports Network.
And it's going to be one heck of a show here tonight, as we're only almost a third of the way in. We've got plenty of racing to go. And with that first round of green flag pit stops cut right at the end there with that yellow, we've seen a little bit of everything so far tonight.
We have. I mean, I was very impressed to see green flag pit stops this early on in the race, so it's very exciting to see that, and seeing some of the strategies from some of these drivers and noticing some drivers working together. We saw several drivers coming down at the same time, and then some who were unfortunate to not have any help. But now, pace car lights are off. It is time to get ready to go back racing. With that, we're going to give a quick top 10 rundown. It's going to be Rob Haynes taking them back to the green flag here, with Michael Mueller on the outside in second. Alan Fox, your pole sitter, was sitting in third position, with Scottless Rambler in fourth. Adam Eisenhower in the fifth position alongside John Sterling, with Bryce Senesac in seventh. Mike Rominger eighth, Jason Eisenhower in ninth, and Tommy Haynes will round out your top 10.
The pace car lights are off. We are all doubled up here as the field goes into 3 and 4. We'll be getting the green flag in just a couple of moments, as the Ford First Mustang pace car will be pulling it down pit road. Rob Haynes gets ready to get on the loud pedal there with Mueller on his outside. Here comes the pace car down the pit road.
Pace car takes the hard left turn on the pit road, waiting for the green flag to come out. Rob Haynes is waiting. Drops the pedal down. Here he goes. They're going to be side by side as the green flag is out. Alan Fox did not get a good jump at all, as Scottless Rambler will move up to the third position as they go into turn 1. Rambler trying to get by, but can't make it work. Shuts the door on Alan Fox as Mueller almost hit the inside of Rob Haynes.
It'll take a couple laps, and then we'll see everyone rubber band back together here as Haynes gets a little bit of a breakaway with Mueller right tucked up behind him. Coming off into 3 and 4, Mueller's right on his back bumper, maybe even gives him a little bit of a shot there going through the corner.
One thing that these drivers got to be careful with when they're putting that much pressure and pushing into these back bumpers of these other drivers is their temperature gauges. Some of these drivers can cause overheating. Thankfully, it is a little bit of a cool night here at Kansas Speedway. Looking at the temperatures, it's about a 67 degree track temp, 66, mostly cloudy. So it is not too bad. A pretty cool night here in Kansas.
A cool night under the lights here, and plenty of action down on the track as the top 3 have a slight breakaway, with Alan Fox trying to catch up using that draft. Going into 1 and 2, the top 3 still tucked up right next to each other here. Looks like Fox is struggling now, almost 3 wide there with Eisenhower nowhere to go, and here comes Rominger on the inside.
Rominger in that number 9 car is going to go side by side with Fox. Almost going to take it 3 wide with Eisenhower, which is going to be behind them with Senesac, as we see Alan Fox stuck on the outside. And unlike Rambler, does not have the momentum. He needs to keep it up there, as the likes of the rest of the field is going to pass by him.
And that's the second time tonight we've saw Fox drop back out of the top.
Ooh, trouble in the middle of turns 1 and 2. The likes of Jason Eisenhower and also the 5, the 17, hard contact. And more contact as well with the 10 car of Gary Mays as well. But that was about a 4-car incident as you look at your LSR TV replay. A little bit of contact between the likes of the 86, and I believe that was a 5-car of Randy Perdue. So a little bit of hecticness going on here for some of these drivers as we watch the replay. There's several other drivers involved who also get caught up late in the going. There's Tommy Haynes stuck out on the track, and unfortunately, him and Joshua Gillen have taken it behind the wall for them. Well, the saying is true, cautions breed cautions.
I was just getting ready to say that I asked that question earlier on, what do we see if we get that first caution? And, well, we got another. And I think we'll see the field dive it down pit road, especially after Alan Fox, when he only took the 2 tires there, he struggled on that restart. So apparently tires very important here tonight at Kansas.
And everybody's going to come down pit road here, at least the most of the top 10 at least. A couple of cars did decide to stay out, but I'm pretty sure they're going to come down pit road once it's a little bit more clear, as we're waiting to see the race off pit road. As Mueller gets in his pit box, Pryor, Sterling, both the Pryor brothers, and Alan Fox. Now it's just a time of waiting. There goes Mueller. He's off and away now, as he had to almost get ran over by the 10 car. As the race off pit road is going to be Mueller, then Ramler, Haynes, Sterling. And we're waiting on, I believe, our last driver to come across the line. That's going to be, looks like one of the Pryor brothers of Travis Pryor. So that will be your top 5 race off pit road here.
And we'll have ourselves a new leader for the first time in quite some time here. And we'll see how that goes. Rominger's been on the move too in that number 9 machine. Impressed by him so far in the night. We've got a couple of movers up and down. Bryce Senesac looks like he's on the move as well.
Yes, indeed. Senesac started outside the top 10, but has worked his way inside it. As we're waiting to see if the current top 3 of Glenn Clements and Ed Morris are going to come down pit road. The answer is yes, they are going to. So put Michael Mueller back up on top of the leaderboard here. Followed by Scottless Ramler, Rob Haynes, then John Sterling and Travis Pryor. As we're now waiting for the rest of the field to come around to catch back up to the leaders. As no penalties was given out for that recent caution, that will cause to have considered a racing incident here. So these drivers gonna have to restack them up and start all over again.
Yeah, and that'll get us 1/3 of the way done with the night when we get the green flag, and we'll have plenty of racing action left. Looks like the pit stalls, or the pit road window will be about 40 laps here tonight. So we'll have at least 2 to 3 pit stops after this point.
Another quick update for some of you who are fans of Randy Perdue. He has taken it behind the wall. His day is done here tonight at Kansas.
So we've seen that first run, and now we've seen our second caution of the night. As we get ready for this next restart, what do you think that is going to be the big key to getting the victory here tonight?
Well, I have to say one of the biggest keys is learning to play your cards right. Not wanting, in my opinion, sometimes it's best not to be that lead car coming to the white flag. Sometimes it's very difficult to try to hold off the rest of the field here, especially towards that final lap. So trying to be maybe that second or third place car to try to use the momentum you need in order to try to slingshot past your competition would be a very good key to victory here tonight.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there, and I think it's going to be very important as well, not only playing your cards right, but making sure you're not putting yourself in a position where someone else playing their cards wrong gets you in trouble. So if you see someone getting up under the wall, you gotta be ready to check up. If you get right into the back of them and you both go around, it's not going to be good for either one of you.
No, it is not. Pace car lights are off. We're about to go green flag racing. Quick look at your top 10 before we turn them loose once more. Michael Mueller, Scottless Ramble, your top 2, followed by Rob Haynes, John Sterling in 3rd and 4th, Travis Pryor in 5th with Mike Rominger 6th, Adam Eisenhower 7th, Brian Senesac in 8th, Jay Pryor 9th, and Alan Fox will round out your top 10. Pace car is leading the rest of the field now into turns 3 and 4. It is time to get ready to turn them loose as Michael Mueller takes the outside lane for this restart. As the pace car is getting ready to take the hard left turn down pit road. Green flag is waiting to be shown. Mueller holding back. There he goes. Green flag is out, and we are back at it again here at Kansas.
Wow, what a breakaway that number 27 machine got there on that start, as we are all back up on the loud pedal going into 1 and 2.
You gotta be careful, because here comes the draft from Rambler, and also the likes of Rob Haynes now giving him a push down the back straightaway. Here comes John Sterling, that black number 3 Chevy Camaro, down the back straightaway. They are closing and catching to Michael Rambler. Scottless Rambler is gonna try to stay put, as now the likes of Travis Pryor gets into the mix. He's gonna go to the inside of John Sterling down the front straightaway.
To the high side is Sterling. He's going to try to make something happen up there, as everyone else is down to the inside. He's not going to be able to clear the 81 nor the 29, and here comes Eisenhower and Rominger as the field goes up, weaving up to the middle of the back straightaway, and now back down the inside line for 3 and 4. Everyone's bumper to bumper.
Yeah, for these first couple of laps, we'll see the drivers hug the inside. Now here comes the likes of Haynes. He's going to get a little bit loose and take a peek to the outside. That's going to cause the likes of Travis Pryor to check up. He's going to go to the inside, side by side with Rob Haynes as they go into 1 and 2. Here comes John Sterling. He's going to look to the inside. Oh, 3 wide as they come off of turn 2.
Very tight moments there, as the 29's going to have to just give it to him, or will he? As he tries to hang strong on the high side. Sterling in the middle, trying to make his way, claw up to the top 3 and get up there maybe for the lead, as Mueller still out in front with Rambler right behind him. Then you've got Travis Pryor, that 3rd car on the inside line, going into 1 and 2. Look at the run on the outside with the number 3 machine. Rambler going to have to check up with that aero tightness, and then Pryor looks on right behind him, and now he hops up to the middle line as well.
Sterling gets a great run with all these drivers having to check up. Now this is going to cause them to go side by side into turns 3 and 4. On Sterling, that black number 3, with also the likes of Michael Mueller and that 27 Ford Mustang. Now here comes the likes of Travis Pryor, going to take a peek to the outside. Now it's going to be 2 by 2, about 4 to 5 cars back. Mike Rominger, the last car in that pack of cars of 8 or 9 cars, as they come off a turn 2. Mueller almost gets into the back bumper of Sterling, front bumper of Sterling as they go down the front straightaway. John Sterling going to probably take the lead, as they still are side by side in 3 and 4.
And that side by side means that the number 57 of Rambler doesn't really have anywhere to go. He's stuck and he's committed to the inside line. And on the outside, here comes Sterling with a big bump out of the number 81. Going into the corner, though, the 3 gets a little bit loose, and everybody's going to have to check up for that. And now the inside line of Mueller, he clears him again a little bit down the back straightaway, but the outside line's got the side draft, and now Pryor to the middle, 3 wide.
3 wide as they come off a turn 4. This is the battle for second place. Here comes Pryor now. He's going to slot by both the likes of Rambler and Sterling. He wants to try to lead this race as they come down the front straightaway. Move Pryor up into second place. Rambler still holding strong for the lead.
And he pinches, Pryor does, down on the inside onto Mueller, and he's going to get that run on the higher side. Rambler looks to go to the middle line now. We saw him earlier on in the race all the way up by the wall, and side by side for the lead. Here we go. Is Pryor going to be able to lead this lap? It's going to be a close one, and I think he does. Yes, he does.
Travis Pryor, new race leader, as he scrapes the wall just a little bit. Now here comes John Sterling. He's going to dive to the bottom of the racetrack behind Michael Mueller as they come off a turn 2. But Travis Pryor has that momentum on his side on the outside lane as they go down the back straightaway. It is still going to be side by side, with John Sterling giving Michael Mueller a bit of a push down through the middle of 3 and 4. Mueller tries to come up, throw the block, can't quite do it. Pryor still holding strong as Sterling now tries to take it 3 wide.
And I tell you what, tense moments here. If we get a big wreck out of someone, that could take out the entire top 10. And Sterling with a big dive to the inside line. He's going to try to clear the 27. He's not quite able to do it. And now he's got the draft on the outside with the run and a bump. And into 3 and 4. Pryor, again looking in the middle line and not going to be able to take it there. But Pryor, he's digging. He's looking for the lead. He's hungry.
Travis Pryor is indeed hungry. Curtis sitting in 5th in the points, but doesn't have a win yet this season. I'm pretty sure he would like to kick off this playoff with a win to take it before they go to Atlanta next week, as he is practically pushing the back bumper of Michael Mueller down the back straightaway.
And the 3 is hanging tough on the inside. Sterling trying to clear the 27 still. and just not able to do it. And what a recovery right now. We've got the number 80 machine of Pryor, Jay Pryor that is, at one point outside of the top 10, all the way actually back to 20th, and now he's back up in the mix. It looks like Ramler, he got tight. He's 3 wide. He might have even clipped the wall very, very slightly there as he is trying to get back up towards the top 3.
He's trying everything he can. We may see him take that third line possibly away as he's going to try, but can't quite make it work. He has some help from Mike Rominger behind him and his number 9 Chevy Camaro. As they're going down the front straightaway, they work by the likes of Rob Haynes now. Rominger going to try to go in the middle, coming out of turns 1 and 2. That's not going to quite work. He has to wait just a little bit. Now here comes David Weishart on the outside. The battle for 9's heated up now as they're now going to go 2 by 2 into turns 3 and 4.
And tons of battles all the way through the top 10, and everyone up there is trying to get up and make as many spots up as you can, because after that first round of pit stops, we saw that the field does get strung out, and this rubber banding that you see so early on after a restart, that goes away after a while. So you've got to make your moves when everyone's right on top of each other, and that's what everyone's trying to do. And it looks like that outside line's becoming more and more dominant as the run goes on.
We're now starting to see 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars up on the outside lane, about 2 or 3 on the inside lane now. A couple of cars now to go try to get to the inside lane to help try to push the cars up towards the rest of the field. But it's still Michael Mueller leading this pack of cars on the outside lane here at Kansas Speedway. We have completed 65 of the 155 laps here.
Oh, contact, Pryor into the wall.
Trouble here as we see Pryor, Weishart, also Senasak, your points leader, several others, Gary May. Oh my goodness, Jay Pryor as well. Ike Rominger, several cars involved. Let's take a look at your LSR TV replay.
Yeah, going down the back straightaway there, you had the number 80 machine, Jay Pryor. He was trying to come up in front of the 3 machine, and he kind of hesitated, and that hesitation was exactly what the 3 machine needed to stick his nose in there. And then the 80 decided to come up that last second, and there just wasn't anywhere for him to go, and he gets turned into the outside wall, and then down to the inside line, and then back up into the field, taking out about 8 to 10 drivers involved in that.
Yeah, some of those include also the likes of Mike Franklin, David Weishart, Bryce Senasak, who was doing so well early on, David Elliott, and I believe, of course, the likes of Mike Rominger.
I was riding on board with the 73 machine of Alan Fox, and that was definitely tense moments for him, as after missing last week's race, he dropped numerous spots in the points, and he could not afford to get caught up in that, and somehow, some way, he was able to sneak on by and keep driving.
Definitely something he needed to avoid to try to keep the dream alive to make it into the playoffs next round, as pit road should be open this time by the drivers are going to make their way down pit road. And it looks like everybody's going to be coming down, at least all of your top 10 here.
And it looks like Mueller's going to be winning the race off of pit road yet again, followed by the number 81 machine, Travis Pryor, and then Ramler right behind the 2 of them.
So now we are going to catch our breaths here for a few minutes after some tight, tense racing battles. And Steve, I got to say, it's been really great racing. I mean, only 3 cautions currently as we have run 67 of the 155 laps here. What would your take be so far?
Well, again, just like I mentioned right before that last caution, it's staying out of trouble and then staying out of other people's trouble. And right there, you saw numerous drivers get caught up in other people's trouble right there. And with how tight racing is here at Kansas, it's just more important than ever at this track to just stay heads up not put yourself in a risky place, even if that means giving up a spot or two, because especially with this being the last race before the playoffs, if you get yourself in trouble, you don't have any more time to make a recovery. And same for the drivers looking for that opportunity to make it into the chase. They only have one more chance to make a strike at it before really it's all for naught.
Yeah, some of those drivers who had a very big moment. We saw the likes of John Sterling, who was involved in that wreck. He was currently sitting in the 10th position, so he was very, very much did not need to have that happen to him, so he has probably a little bit of damage to the car. And then, of course, Scottless Rambler, who's been inside the top 3 all night long, doing what he needs to do to try to get into the points playoff. And then some of the likes like Alan Fox, who had a big avoidance from that wreck, saved his opportunity to make the playoffs.
As we are 68 coming to 69 laps into it, we're coming to halfway. We're not quite there yet, and we've had plenty of drivers up and down. Some of the bigger movers here tonight. I'm looking Darren Clement. He's only made up a couple spots, but M. Scottless Rambler, Rob Haynes, they're up outside of the top 10. They're now inside the top 5. Mike Franklin there in the number 82 machine. He started 23rd, and he's going to be up in 9th at the moment. And then Nick Hunt started 22nd. He's in 7th. So here at Kansas, between how tight the racing is and a couple of cautions, we've got a lot of drivers making their way up and then down as well.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be sousing who else can work their way up through the field before the race is over with. We're just approaching the halfway mark here at Kansas Speedway. This is the 10th round of our 15-round season here for the Ricmotech Extreme Cup Series, as they are trying to get ready for the playoffs next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I gotta say, with 5 races for these 12 drivers, it's gonna be one heck of a battle between the top 12 of finding out who will be the champion. As the pace car is getting ready to make the hard left turn down pit road. Michael Mueller now taking the inside line with the likes of Scottless Rambler behind him. And then, of course, we see the 81 of Travis Pryor in that outside row with Rob Haynes. Pace car pulls down pit road. Mueller waiting for the green flag. He gets a great start while Pryor does not. Rambler gets right on his back bumper to keep up with him. Green flag back underway as now the field tries to get single file coming into turns 1. Rob Haynes now having a little bit of difficulty getting to the bottom of the racetrack as he has to worry about the 86 of Adam Eisenhower as they go side by side off of turn 2.
And Rambler, he had a little bit of separation, but it's gone as the 81 of Travis Pryor down to the inside. He's going to make a big old dive through 3 and 4. He might be able to make a clear pass, and he does. Comes up in front of the 27, and now the 27 of Mueller on his high side, trying to get him back going in 1 and 2.
Side by side into turns 1 and 2. Pryor on the inside, Mueller on the outside. The 86 of Eisenhower going to give a big push to Travis Pryor down into turns 2. Down the back straightaway, here comes Scottless Rambler with a big push to Michael Mueller along with Rob Haynes now as they're going to go side by side into 3 and 4, though. Travis Pryor doing a great job of holding him off. He's going to slot up to the front of the field. Now here comes Mueller with a push. Oh, contact! He turned it! As we see Adam Eisenhower and Pryor spinning, here's caution.
The bumper hook strikes again at the Mini Daytona. We saw it last week at the Super Speedway, and now we see it again here at Kansas Speedway.
With that, we got to take a look at an LSR TV replay, and I would like to get an onboard look at that with him, Michael Mueller. It's right there. He makes the contact as we saw Pryor try to come up in front of Mueller to clear him, but he was not clear at all. And I believe also the 82 might have got turned around. Mike Franklin's.
Nothing the 86 of Eisenhower could have done there, but hats off to the 81 machine. He almost came back up in front of the field and did a heck of a job to keep it down there. And the 82 Franklin did get put up into the wall. Looked like a little bit of net code between some contacted drivers on his inside. But dang, just like that, we've had, 4 cautions right in a row.
We have indeed. So now the question is going to be, who's going to come down pit road after this? I know probably some of the drivers who were involved in that recent incident will be coming down as we're waiting for the pace car to come by pit road. who will be coming down pit road after just only being out for a lap. As everybody's going to come down pit road, your entire top 10 will be coming down. Of course, keep an eye on the likes of Adam Eisenhower and Travis Pryor and Mike Franklin, see if they're going to get any damage repair.
It'll be interesting to see if Pryor can get that car repaired. He did have a pretty hard hit to his inside, but I'm not sure if he has any type of engine damage or anything like that. We'll have to see. For him, luckily, he's pretty safe in the chase. He's not completely safe. He's going to have to keep running, but he could be in worse position.
Well, with that race off pit road, Scottless Rambler will be your new race leader by the looks of things, as John Sterling, Michael Mueller, Rob Haynes, and Alan Fox your top 5 as they race off pit road.
Now, as we're getting closer and closer to that halfway point, we've seen a little bit of everything, and we've got numerous drivers now out of the race completely, and that changes things even for these drivers that are racing for chase contention. And you might not even know it if you're in the car, but that kind of gives you a little bit of a safety buffer. If you do get in an accident like Pryor did, you can only drop back so far. Even if he were to stop racing as it is, he would finish at worst 16th, which is a big difference compared to 23rd.
It is indeed. As we are waiting for the timing and scoring to come through, we're getting ready to go through your field. We are now on lap 75 of the 155 laps here tonight at Kansas Speedway. Well, with that, we're going to take a look at the Ford Entertainment Group Midway Race Break. Currently at the top of the leaderboard will be Scottless Rambler. Started back in 13th, has worked his way up through the field, and is now your new race leader, followed by John Sterling in the 2nd position. Doing a great job running inside the top 5 most of the night, with Michael Mueller in the 3rd position. Rob Haynes currently sitting in 4th position, followed by our pole sitter of Alan Fox. Followed next up will be the likes of Darren Clements. He will be sitting in the 6th position. Immediately behind him will be David Elliott in 7th. In the 8th position will be Tyler Hallman. 9th will be Nick Hunt. And rounding out your top 10 will be Adam Eisenhower.
And as I wait for my timing and scoring to update, I'll update you on the drivers that are out. David Weishart, Mike Rominger, Jay Pryor, Jason Eisenhower, Joshua Gillen, and Randy Perdue, Tommy Haynes. All of those drivers out in the garage area with significant damage on their car. And then running in 11th at the moment is going to be Jerry Glenn. Tyler Hallman's actually there in 12th. Bryce Senesac 13th. And then Ed Morris, Gary May, Mike Franklin, David Weishart. And then you've got all of those other drivers there out of the race. Rominger, Pryor, Eisenhower, Gillen, Perdue, Haynes. And all of those drivers are out of the race.
Well, with that, that's been a look at the FEG Midway Race Break. FEG PC has been serving the iRacing community with custom-built, affordable computers specifically built and tuned for iRacing. Your PC will come with everything you need preloaded so you can get to racing as soon as it hits your doorsteps. Get yours today and join the 600-plus iRacers already enjoying an FEG PC. PCs to fit every budget from $540 and up. Visit www.fegpc.net and mention the code LSRTV10 and get your build quote today.
And with that, the base car is off, and Rambler for the first time tonight is going to be leading them. And green flag's out, stack up on the inside, and it looks like the number 3 Messina Sterling really struggling to get up through the gears there.
As they're trying to get through the gears, coming up now is going to be Scottless Rambler holding off the likes of Rob Haynes. Now, as John Sterling lost a ton of time, he's about 3 or 4 car lanes back, but does have help from Mueller and Adam Eisenhower as they're going to go down the back straightaway. David Elliott and Alan Fox will go side by side into 3 and 4.
And here comes that big run on the inside. Sterling with the draft and with a little bit of help behind him, goes to the inside, coming across the stripe. Rambler does lead that lap. Haynes looks to the high side and sticks his nose up there, and he doesn't go with it and falls right there back behind the 57. And now the 3, Sterling, trying to battle on the inside. He's got help a-coming with the likes of the number 86 machine making his way back up towards the front after being involved in that contact with Pryor down not too long ago. Alan Fox on his way back up, and then you've also got the 81, Travis Pryor, on his way back up through the field. Looks like that damage might be hurting him a little bit, but he's still competitive here.
He is doing everything he can of that 81 car. That car has been everywhere from sideways except hitting the wall. He has been all over the place as he's going to give a big push to Michael Mueller down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Now take a look to the inside now to try to close up onto the back bumper of Adam Eisenhower as they come off of turn 4.
Oh, almost contact coming across the stripe there. The 86 machine, Eisenhower, he might have been looking to go up to the high side. And Rambler in that 57 machine, he was already there. And here comes the 81 machine, Travis Pryor, all the way back up towards the top 5 after being in about 10th there with that damaged car. He's going to try to make something happen here. He's down on the inside line. Rambler on the high side trying to hold him off, but that inside strong early on fresh tires.
It's a little bit loose right there as they come across the line as he hit the bumper of Adam Eisenhower, but still he's able to keep it on the racetrack now. As they're going into turns 1 and 2, he's going to try to look to the inside of Scottless Rambler now, as now he's going to be the only car on the inside line as John Sterling. And now we're going to see Rambler go way wide up into the middle of turns 3 and 4.
Oh, as the 81 machine gets pinched by Eisenhower down on the inside line. That was a tense moment for sure. The 81 backs out of it there to avoid making contact. Coming across the stripe, Sterling leads that lap. The 57 on the high side still maintaining, and now Eisenhower slipping up the track in front of Pryor.
Pryor has nowhere to go as they go down the back straightaway, while we see John Sterling back up to the front bumper of Adam Eisenhower as they go into 3 and 4, while Scottless Rambler stays high, wide, and handsome as they come off of 4, but can't quite make it work to get close to Travis Pryor as they go down the front straightaway. Sterling gets a little bit loose. Pryor trying to hold on the inside. Rambler, all the momentum has to check up as they go into turns 1.
Man, every time these drivers get tight like that, I see disaster just around the corner. But what a big dive out of the 81 machine. He gets in front of the 3 of Sterling. That's going to check Sterling up, and here comes the 29 down on the inside. Pryor comes down to the middle line to try to keep that momentum blocked.
As he's trying everything he can to keep the momentum on his side, but it is not going to work. Rob Haynes in the 29 Mustang will go to the top as 3 wide for second. Travis Pryor backs out of it immediately to prevent any issues. That will move the likes of Adam Eisenhower up to the second position. John Sterling will drop back to third, with Scottless Rambler holding on in fourth. As they go down the back straightaway, Rob Haynes utilizing the fresh rubber to stay on that inside lane, make it work, while the rest of the field tries to keep it up to the top side of the racetrack as they go out of 3 and 4 onto the front straightaway.
Man, I tell you what, Pryor has checked up for these guys 2 or 3 times to avoid disaster, and now we're all starting to move up, migrating to the high side. Haynes is leading in front of the 86 of Eisenhower, and Eisenhower kind of peeks down to the inside, doesn't really do anything with it, and it's amazing how we were side by side just a couple of laps ago, and now we've all found our way to the high side here at Kansas.
As they're trying to find the way to work together to keep it straight and narrow, we see the likes of that 29 car just stick to the bottom of the racetrack on the front straightaway, then dive right back up to the top side as they come by the lap traffic of Joshua Gillen. He just takes it below the apron to avoid any issues. Down the back straightaway they go once more. It is single file pretty much for your top 7, as Darren Clemens was the only car who was on the inside, but then decided to take it back up the racetrack. And it is single file pretty much throughout your top 10. Come off a turn 4. There we see the 29 of Tommy Haynes go down to the bottom of the racetrack again, then work his way back up the racetrack. Gotta be careful in case the likes of Eisenhower gets a good run and could possibly clip him.
And just like we've seen earlier on, if we do get some type of accident up here with how tight of the racing is, that could really be big trouble for everyone up there. So as Rob Haynes is leading. Eisenhower sitting there behind him, just kind of biding his time, waiting for a mistake maybe out of the 29, waiting for a gap as he goes all the way down the apron there. And that's actually going to gain him a little bit of time going into 1 and 2. And there's contact. Rambler in the wall.
Sterling in the wall. Contact. Mueller, Haynes, Clements. 4 cars involved, possibly more, as several others try to cut it through the grass. Oh my goodness.
I think almost every single car involved in that has chase implications.
Most definitely, especially the likes of John Sterling, Scottless, Rambler, Michael Mueller, who has had a win already at Dover, but still near the middle of the pack of the point standings, was quite heavily involved with that. Darren Clements had major damage to his race car, so his day will be done most likely here at Kansas.
Yeah, it looks like John Sterling, as we pull up the LSR TV replay, he was going into the corner there and kind of came up into the 57, knocks the 57 of Rambler into the wall, and then of course he bounces off said wall down into everybody down on the inside, and from that point onward, just like I was talking about, everyone right on top of each other, and it's big trouble. And then again, Travis Pryor involved in another one here. No luck for the number 81 machine tonight.
Well, with that one, I think it might be safe to say his night's going to be a little bit more difficult than his previous other incidents. That rear end of that race car is quite pretty much torn up, as well as the front of that race car.
And that really is not going to leave too many cars with clean machines out there, as it looks like even some of the guys that didn't go around. I know the number 29 has a little bit of damage on his back end. Eisenhower does as well. So we've got a number of cars with plenty of damage here tonight.
Waiting to see who will win the race off pit road as the rest of the field is coming down into their pit box. Rob Haynes now out of his pit box first. Who's going to win the race off? Currently, right now, it is going to be Rob Haynes, your winner off of pit road, followed by Adam Eisenhower. Then the 42 of David Elliott, Tyler Hallman, third and fourth, as we're waiting for the rest of who will finish up in fifth. A lot of cars still out in their pit box, try to get the damage repair done. I think it's safe to say those will be the ones who will win the race off pit road.
Yeah, as I look up and down pit road, there's at least half a dozen cars there getting damage repaired. Alan Fox, number 73 machine, just pulled off. Looks like for the most part, his car seems pretty clean. He's narrowly avoided a few wrecks and then did collect a little bit of damage in that last one.
And with that couple of the rest of the cars have come down pit road, such as Jerry Glenn and some lap cars, moving Rob Haynes back up to the top of the leaderboard here tonight, followed immediately by the likes of Eisenhower, Elliott, and Tyler Hallman, your top 4.
Well, I know I've already asked you this question, but now really the complexity of the race is completely changed out here at Kansas. What do you think the key to the race is now, especially if you're one of these drivers with chase implications? If you're Michael Mueller with a damaged race car, or any of those drivers there, how do you get it back out onto the track? What do you do from that point on?
Try to baby it as much as you can and get as many points as possible would be my biggest point of matter here tonight, especially with several other chase-implicated drivers who were involved with that. It's going to be critical to try and get as many points possible. Forget about trying to get the win. Just try and finish the race would be my biggest factor right now.
Yeah, as I take a look around the field, numerous cars, the 57, for example, that Scottless Rambler, when he brought it off pit road, his rear bumper, pretty much that rear panel altogether, completely missing. And then for Travis Pryor, he does have his panel, but it is I'd almost prefer not to have it with how damaged his is. So numerous drivers out here with chase implications, and they're going to have to, like you said there, Taylor, just baby it around the track, especially if you've got front end damage, because these cars will overheat, that engine will blow. And at a track like Kansas, or at least in its current configuration, there's not a lot of letting off, and that makes the strain on the engine even harder.
It most certainly does. And with that, we are about to find out whose engine can survive the longest here, As the pace car has been given the 1 to go signal, Rob Haynes will be your race leader, followed by Adam Eisenhower in second, David Elliott third, Tyler Hallman fourth, Alan Fox fifth, with Jerry Glenn sixth, Gary May seventh, Scottless Rambler will be in eighth, Travis Pryor ninth, and Bryce Senesac rounds out your top 10.
And I've been trying to watch the points battles as they shape up as the night goes on, but at this point, I can't even tell you who's going to be where, because we have so many cars on pit road that have had to get damage fixed, so many cars just struggling to limp it around. At this point, it's a toss-up. Who's getting kicked out of the chase and who's making it in?
Well, we're going to find out here shortly, as we are about to complete lap 92 of the 155 laps. Pace car takes the hard left turn down pit road. It is going to be the likes of Rob Haynes, your race leader, waiting for the green flag. Green flag is out, pedal to the metal. There they go down the front straightaway. Eisenhower does not get a good race start, as the 42 of David Elliott gets involved, moving up into third with Tyler Holloman fourth.
Yeah, David Elliott started in 21st here this afternoon, and now he's up. He clears the number 86 and takes away that second position. Tyler Hallman, we saw him earlier on. He hit the commitment cone and spun almost down pit road, and he's been able to recover from that. And now Alan Fox, even in his damaged state, he's up there battling in that top 5, trying to hold on with no issues there. Pretty comfortable in the chase, but he's just trying to make sure that does not change. And wow, I cannot believe how small this lead pack has gotten here with the complete change of who's able to compete. But up towards the front, the 86 of Eisenhower says it's time to go. 94 laps in, let's go take the lead. Let's take control of the race as he goes to the inside of the 29. Rob Haynes on the outside, and Eisenhower is going to be able to clear him.
Eisenhower is going to possibly be your new race leader, but unless the likes of the 52 of Tyler Holloman has something different, he's going to try to look at the inside of Rob Haynes as they go into 1 and 2 now. Oh, Rob Haynes almost gets into the inside of that car, but is able to slot right in between him and Alan Fox as to go down the back straightaway. Fox sitting in that 4th position, looking on as the top 3 goes into 3 and 4. Haynes tries to take a peek to the inside, but decides to follow suit with the top 2.
Right now, if you're Rob Haynes, I think he's probably got the best car out of all of the drivers up in the top 5. It's really going to be the fact of the matter, keeping it clean, keeping it out of trouble, and making sure no one gets you in trouble here as he goes down to the inside of Hallman down the back straightaway. He's got a little bit of a run, and quite a bit of a run, as he goes off into 3. The number 86 machine, Eisenhower, stranded on the outside, big dive by the 29, and he's going to take back control of the lead position.
With that battling going on, that's going to bring in the 73 of Alan Fox, even though with that damage, he's going to give a fight to Tyler Hallman as they go side by side into turns 1 and 2. That inside line really comes into play those opening few laps after the restart of a race, as he's still going to be able to be side by side with the likes of Hallman down the back straightaway. Momentum on Hallman's side, using that outside lane as they go 3 and 4. Now Eisenhower in front of them is going to go side by side with Haynes as they come out of 4. Who's going to lead this lap as lap traffic comes abroad? Here comes Eisenhower to the lead now as they come across by the Michael Mueller, who stays below the race line, prevent these leaders from continuing racing.
And we've got 6 cars up here running in clean contention. And then back from that point on, you've got Gary May, Bryce Senesac, Nick Hunt, Travis Pryor, and then Scottless Rambler. That's the remainder of your lead lap cars, but everyone from 6th on back, or from 7th on back actually, is going to be at least 4.5 seconds back, all the way to 26 seconds back, as Scottless Rambler will be getting lapped here momentarily.
Yeah, unfortunate night for Scottless Rambler. He needed to try to keep a clean race for the most part, but could not make it work here tonight, as the leaders are coming by him here momentarily. There they go by him right now down the back straightaway, as we see Rob Haynes giving a little bit of a push to Eisenhower as they go into 3 and 4, nose to tail. About 3 car lanes separate between them and Alan Fox and a Tyler Holloman, the next group of cars, as they come down the front straightaway, as we are now 55 laps left to go in the race.
As Rob Haynes is really putting the pressure on the number 86 machine, Alan Fox is still hanging tough as he's going to try to suck up coming down the back straightaway. And right now, if you're the number 29 of Rob Haynes, you got to be so careful racing with this number 86. You don't want to get yourself in trouble here as the race goes on. We've still got one round of pit stops, and I think it'll be interesting to see what it looks like when everyone comes down. And if you're a driver like, well, really anyone still running up there, maybe you just take 2 tires for the heck of it because the field's so small.
That could be a good strategy call right there, Steve. We may see a couple of drivers try that, as now Rob Haynes gets back up to the front of the field as Alan Fox will go side by side with Eisenhower. But a little bit of lap traffic of Clements is going to be in front of him as they're now going to work their way by. That was going to be a close call for them, but he was able to utilize that as a pick, Eisenhower, to try to get by the likes of Alan Fox as they go now right down into turns 1 and 2, single file.
And you can tell that number 73 machine of Alan Fox, even though it doesn't visually look all that bad, it must be hurting that machine, because when you see these 2 cars, the 29 and the 86, once they break away from him, he really does fall back. He's relying so much on that draft to stay with him. Luckily, though, again, with such a small field up in the front of the pack, you don't have to worry too much about the points, especially as he's comfortably within the chase. But that number 73, you really got to tip your hat to him. He's holding on tough.
He is holding on as best that he can as he tried to take a look to the inside of Eisenhower, but can't quite make it work. He's going to slot back in behind him, as only pretty much 6 cars are in contention for this race lead. All of them within about a second of each other. That's going to be the likes of Rob Haynes, Adam Eisenhower, Alan Fox, Tyler Hallman, David Elliott, and Jerry Glenn, who's starting to drop back just a little bit over a second behind. So at least a 5-car battle for the lead.
I think the big question is going to be, when do you bring it down pit road? With the tire fall off not being too huge here, it does, it kind of opens it up a good bit. Once you get tired of running on the tires that you're on, you come down pit road, make sure you're within your fuel window. But at that point on, I think everyone else will come down with you. So it's just going to be a big question mark of who comes first and what comes after. As Rob Haynes out in front right now, he's got Eisenhower right there behind him, and Alan Fox continuing to hold strong as we got lap traffic in the middle of the back straightaway. That almost got tight. Oh,
it still gets tight almost. There's a little bit of contact between the likes of Joshua Gillen and I believe also Scottless Rambler made a little bit of contact.
And very nice job by Rambler to hold on to that machine as he almost got completely turned there on the inside line. And really this top 5 starting to string out a little bit further. You've got the top 3, throw them under a blanket, and then you've got Tyler Hallman, and then the 42 with David Elliott to round out the top 5 there, starting to fall a little bit further back.
Now here's a question for you, Steve. Like you were saying, how the tire fall off is not a very serious issue, and we were talking about 2 tires. Could somebody maybe, like the likes of David Elliott or Jerry Glenn, since they're so far back and really only at least going to be 6 cars on the lead lap as they're closing in to the back bumper of Bryce Senesax and Gary May, could we see someone decide to take no tires?
Well, it's definitely a possibility, and I do want to open that one up, saying if you're a driver like Jerry Glenn, he's sitting there 14th in the points. He only needs a handful of points to get into the chase. He's only two positions out, so he might be more inclined to make that strategy call than someone else. And it's really going to come down to if you feel comfortable enough to do it. You make that swing, but you've got to make sure that you've got the fuel to account for 4 potential green-white checkers, and then if that does become the case, you got to be ready to bring her down pit road because those tires are going to be all used up at the end of the race.
Most definitely indeed, as the battle for second is now getting back underway between Alan Fox and Adam Eisenhower, as they're going to go side by side. Fox has the advantage in the middle of turns 1 and 2. He is on the bottom of that number 73 with the 86 Chevy Camaro of Eisenhower, with that high side momentum easily propelled by Alan Fox.
And Rob Haynes, for the first time tonight, we're seeing a leader get a little bit of a breakaway as he's pulled almost half of a second off of the number 86 machine of Eisenhower behind him. And then everyone's just kind of jostling behind him. So that's a little bit interesting, and I think that's good for Haynes because now He's really got that comfortable. He's got a little bit of a gap there behind him, and that 86 machine, once he loses that draft, maybe he does still have some residual damage from contact earlier. Maybe that's just going to slow him down even more without the draft.
And with that, that could cause Hayne to maybe take it a little bit easier on his tires compared to the likes of the rest of the field, who's trying to catch back up to the leader. We may try to use their tires a little bit more as they're coming out of 2. It's pretty much everyone's separated, but anywhere between 2 to 3 car lengths from the next car in front of them. As they're going down the back straightaway, it is still going to be the likes of Rob Haynes, your race leader, working his way through lap traffic here at Kansas.
And it's going to be a revolving door of lap down traffic, as there's just numerous cars with damage still running out here, trying to make minimum pace and stay out of trouble. So it's really going to be making sure you don't catch them at a weird place. For the most part, everyone's staying well out of the way. So for Rob Haynes right now, you're putting it in autopilot and hoping to keep those cars out of the way and keep your car out of the wall.
He's been so far doing a decent job of that tonight as he comes across the line. He's still separated by about half a second, if not 0.4 of a second now, between him and Eisenhower. As they're going into turns 1 and 2, we see Rob Haynes now pulling away a little bit more as Alan Fox now. He's got a run coming out of turn 2. He's going to try to give a bit of a push to Adam Eisenhower to try to catch back up to the leaders. Then backs it off, runs the middle groove, now down to the bottom of the racetrack. We see the 2 drivers as they come off of turn 4. Eisenhower and Alan Fox might try to start working together to catch back up to the leader.
And within the next 7, 8, 9 laps, we'll be getting within our fuel window. So we'll start to see if pit strategy comes into play and who does what and where they come out after they do what they're doing.
Right now, it's just a matter of who's going to be the first one to blink here. As we see the leaders now go down to the bottom of the racetrack. The only driver I see that's going to run that top side was Tyler Holman, who stayed up toward the top of the racetrack in 3 and 4 as they come across the line. Still going to be the same as it was. It's going to be Rob Haynes, Eisenhower, and Alan Fox, your top 3, followed by Holman, and then, of course, David Elliott, your top 5.
And it looks like we've had another driver retire on the night. It's going to be the number 40 machine of Joshua Gillen, now 19 laps down. Looks like he's going to settle in around 18th, unfortunately, with plenty of damage earlier on after contact and going up into the wall. Very hard hit for him. And we've got 5 cars within 2 seconds of each other, the top 5 there. And then Jerry Glenn's another 5.5 back. And then Jerry Glenn, the last car on the lead lap.
As they're closing in to Gary May, who is currently about to put a lap down momentarily. As the leaders are coming out of turns 3 and 4, safe to say I might think Rob Haynes might have pulled about a second gap over the top, the 2nd and 3rd position. As they come across the line, yeah, just right at a second between him and Eisenhower. So if Rob Haynes keeps doing what he's doing right now, he could possibly, if he is able to get a good exit off a pit road and not speed or have any other issues, it could be a close, easy, sealed victory for him as they are coming down into 3 and 4. Alan Fox trying to find a way to work with Eisenhower, but can't quite seem to make it work for him to close that back up on Rob Haynes.
Yeah, Rob Haynes has a very comfortable lead now at this juncture with only a handful of cars to worry about jostling with. He's really, like I said, he's put that car on autopilot, and he's hoping that Eisenhower, Fox, and Holman start battling, because that's only going to slow them down more as we get ready for these pit stops within the next 5, 6, 7 laps, I do believe. These drivers probably waiting as well. They want those 4 fresh Goodyears, assuming they take them, and they need to fill up on Sunoco Racing fuel and get back out there. So really just watching and waiting to see who blinks first, like you said there, Taylor, as the laps are clicking off here at Kansas.
Well, right now, that battle for second place, they swapped different lanes right now. Alan Fox decided to take the inside lane compared to Eisenhower, who took the outside now but can't quite make it work. Here comes Holman now. He's going to take a peek to the inside of Alan Fox for that 3rd position, but can't quite make it work. He's going to slot right behind him as they come off of turn 4. He's going to try to work with him and catch back up to Eisenhower as they come across the line.
Right. And they've all gone up to the high side again. Looks like everyone's really just searching for that grip and searching to find a little more speed. We've seen them go to the bottom and then go back up to the top, and it looks like at this point they've all kind of settled back up at the top, as it looks like Haynes, he runs the middle, and then everyone up a little bit further up, running towards the wall.
Looking at the lap times, that last time by, Rob Haynes ran a 30.26. Eisenhower and Fox ran around the 35s and 3s. Holman a 34. Same thing with David Elliott at 34. So even by himself, pretty much, Rob Haynes doing a great job of utilizing a little bit of the slipstream from the lap traffic to try and pull that gap he needs in order to stay away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, as we watch these guys jostle for second on back, Alan Fox, he closes up on Eisenhower and then gets a little bit aero tight and then falls back off, and then Hallman's just sitting there right behind the two of them. And that's really been the tail of the tape since they've gone a single file here. Eisenhower, at one point, was really the only driver that we saw contending with Rob Haynes. And now at this point, with so much separation, he's not getting any draft from the leader. And he's just kind of on his own trying to chase him down here, hoping that everyone stays in line behind him, as we've only got 6 cars on the lead lap at this point, and pit stops just around the corner.
Yes, indeed. Lap 123 of the 155 have been complete. So it's just only a matter of time before we see our race leaders come down pit road. And I think we might see that happening. Nope, Rob Haynes decides to stay out another lap. Same with the rest of the top 5 as they come across the line. With this, while we're waiting to see who will determine, we have quite a little bit of great racing left for you here. Of course, next week we will be at Atlanta Motor Speedway, one of the faster half miles here for the Ricmotech Cup Series. And then, of course, we got Pocono, Darlington, Chicagoland, and Homestead. A wide mix of variety of tracks for these drivers will have to face before we crown ourselves a champion.
And there's a little bit of something at each one of those tracks, and for the most part, you pack up, you go to the next track, and you've got to do something different week to week, especially over at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It might seem like a simple cookie cutter, mile and a half, but with the old surface there, these cars, they're going to be slipping, they're going to be sliding. With this new package, I expect a lot of double file racing, multiple lines probably going to come in as the race goes on, and here comes our leader down pit road.
And with that, the rest of the field decides to stay out as your race leader. Rob Haynes has come down pit road, but unfortunately, it's going to be by himself. No other lead lap traffic is going to go with him. I don't even think any lap traffic has decided to come down pit road with him. So this is going to be a little bit difficult for him to determine if he's going to be able to keep up with the rest of the field, as the rest of the field is now the top 4 coming by pit road. Let's see if they're going to come down. Adam Eisenhower, yes he will. Alan Fox. Also, Tyler Hallman, who gets a little bit loose. He's going to try to save it. Oh, he does not quite do it. Keeps it out of the wall, but has to turn it around. That could possibly cause a penalty.
That's the second time tonight he's had issues getting down on the pit road.
He has indeed, as David Elliott stayed out on the racetrack as well. It's going to be to see what he decides to do.
Kind of watching and waiting to see if we get any strategy calls, but I think for the most part, looks like everyone's going to be taking 4 tires, fuel, and in and out they go.
And of course, the last car on the lead lap will be Jerry Glenn. He's going to come down pit road as well. So it's now going to be a matter of time before we get cycled back through, trying to find the likes of Rob Haynes, who's currently sitting 1 lap down, but will probably be able to easily get by the rest of the field as he works by Eisenhower and Fox. And waiting to see where David Elliott as well. He's coming off pit road right now, along with Jerry Glenn, who's waiting also to be released. As we're waiting to see what will happen. Elliott just now came across pit exit, waiting to find where is Rob Haynes. Here he comes. He's now dropped up to the 2nd position now. He's going to try to easily surpass the likes of David Elliott and retain the race lead.
And we'll have to see if any of the drivers, with only 1 or 2 laps difference in tires, I really don't think you're going to see a big difference in pace. And David Elliott must have really nailed his stop because he picked up positions on the 73 and the 86 of Eisenhower. And here they come right behind him. And he's just going to go down to the inside line as they go up to the high side. And it looks like they're kind of working together here as we're going to come up on lap down traffic. That's going to make things a little tight. We do sneak on by. Down the back straightaway we go, and it looks like the 73 and the 86, they might just be working together there, doing a little bit of bump drafting here in Kansas.
Trying to close back up to Rob Haynes in the number 29 as they come across the line. Lap 130 of the 155 completed. Currently just a little shy of 2 seconds separating these two drivers from Rob Haynes, your race leader.
Yeah, and with only about 25 laps to go, they're going to need something. They're going to need a yellow, or they're going to have to find some speed in those machines. Between them, they do each have their own little bits of damage, but they're trying. But at this point, it doesn't look like they're really gaining any time. That last time by, they were 1.8 back, and this time they're 1.5, so I got to eat my words there. They are digging. They are making up a little bit of time on our leader. And we'll just have to see over the next 3 or 4 laps if it's just because of the tire delta or if it's the fact that they're working together and our leader is all on his lonesome.
As he works by the likes of Michael Mueller, who was one of our
draft from the number 29 machine, maybe another 10th or so, and I think they're going to start sucking up to our leader using his own draft, and there's nothing the leader can do about that.
No, not at all. As they come across the line once again, it's now down to 0.7 of a second. They gain quite big time right there. Over 0.3 now as they're closing into the back bumper of a race leader, Rob Haynes, now in that 29 car. Down the back straightaway, we see Eisenhower back off just a little bit, try and cool the race car down to get enough momentum to help push Alan Fox back up to the race lead. As we now see the likes of Haynes utilizing David Weishart's just a little bit of slipstream to try to pull a little bit of a gap as he comes across the line. Still 0.7 of a second separates him from Alan Fox.
And it looks like they might be starting to stall out a little bit there as the tires start to wear, and maybe the damage on their 2 cars may be affecting them a little bit as they get bumper to bumper yet again and give them a nice little push. Alan Fox goes into 3 and 4. He is gaining time still, and I am baffled, Taylor, to see that this is Kansas Speedway here in this new package, to see how these guys are racing it. Absolutely incredible. They're at a half second now as they're on lap 138. We've got over 15 laps to go, but they are coming and they are almost there. We're going to have a 3-horse race for the finish.
We are indeed. I love coming to this track with the new package here at Kansas Speedway, and this is why. We see great racing action now, and here they are. Alan Fox, Eisenhower, Haynes, now less than probably 1/10 of a second separating these 3 drivers now. As now we see Alan Fox look to the inside of Rob Haynes, can't quite do it. Haynes shuts the door as they come out of 2.
Machine probably has a little bit of a stronger car than you do. He's probably been able to save his tires just slightly, running up there on his own. Do you wait? You've got 15, 16 laps to do so, to wait. Do you wait until like lap 150 and then put on the pressure? Or do you kind of make the 29 try to use up his stuff while they're up there? But you can tell that 29, he pulls them in the corners and then they suck back up using the draft. And that's really been the case, and that's how they got back up there, is working together. But now that they're up there, I don't think you'll see so much of that.
Yes, now that they caught him, what they're going to do with that Rob Haynes now is trying to find a way to get by him. But like you said, Rob Haynes has probably one of the cleaner race cars out of the top 3 right now as they work by the 00 of Nick Hunt on lap traffic. Go to the outside as you see Haynes dive back to the bottom of the racetrack, then right to the middle, then up against the wall down the back straightaway. Trying to keep the likes of these drivers from sucking up to the back bumper of them as they go into turns 3, getting by the likes of Scottless Rambler. As they come off of turn 4, we are closing in to the final 15 laps.
And with the laps clicking off, the drivers, they've got to keep in mind, what's at stake. If you're Alan Fox, for him, he's pretty much safe, and Haynes is as well. But for all of these drivers still making laps
here
around the track.
Here he goes. He's going to look to the inside as Haynes tries to throw the block side by side. They will go. Alan Fox Is he going to try to clear Haynes as they come off of turn 4? Can't quite make it work. Haynes going to power through on the straightaway as they come across the line. I think it's safe to say Rob Haynes, no, Alan Fox will take the lead.
And just like that, the outside line, though, with Rob Haynes, he's fighting back, going through 1 and 2. The number 73 on the inside, Fox, is going to get stranded on the inside line down the back straightaway. And here comes the outside line with Eisenhower.
Eisenhower now going to be the lone car on the outside with Fox and Haynes on the bottom of the racetrack. Side by side they go. The two drivers that work together to catch the leader are now going to do battle now here at Kansas Speedway, coming across the line as 11 laps to go. Haynes is hoping these two will do battle so he can pull that gap like he did before the green pad 6 stops. As you see, Eisenhower pulled by Alan Fox. Now he's going to have a go at Rob Haynes.
And yeah, with Eisenhower now in that second spot, I think he might have the better car out of the two of them. But will he be able to do anything without a little bit of help to do it? I think with that 73 up there, if he gets a nice run and gives him a shot, that'll be what propels the number 86 around the 29. But will he be able to maintain with the number 29 being the faster car out of the three of them overall?
We'll have to wait and find out as they go into 3 and 4. They're going to be nose to tail. Now we see Haynes take that middle groove, Eisenhower towards the top of the racetrack, and then Alan Fox in the middle of the racetrack.
And for these drivers, they've all, this is going to be like a game of chess here at Kansas. They don't want to pull out too soon. They don't want to run their stuff out. They don't want to catch the wall, and they definitely don't want to wreck each other. But you also don't want to sit idle too long and then somehow run out of steam. If you're the number 73 machine of Alan Fox and somehow the top two break away from you, you might not be able to catch back up. So everybody under a blanket right now, 3-horse race. We've got Haynes, Eisenhower, Fox, and then David Elliott, Jerry Glenn. That rounds out your top 5, but David Elliott, Jerry Glenn, much further back.
Yeah, but looking back a little bit, there is quite a little bit of battle between Jerry Glenn and Tyler Hallman. That battle for the 5th position. Take a quick look at that battle. Actually, they have a lap traffic of the 7 car of Ed Morris in between them. Those three are working together in a draft pack to try and find a way to catch maybe up to David Elliott.
As the laps click off, the opportunities to strike, they are going to be dwindling down as well. And I'm watching right now as the 29 leads those two cars up closer to the wall. Alan Fox almost drifts up into the outside wall, and if you catch it, I have a hunch here with no draft help behind him, he would quickly fall off from these guys. So as the 29 drops down to the inside, Haynes trying to break away from Eisenhower and Fox. They're going to have the run down the front straightaway with the draft and then using the middle line there, coming across the stripe, but Haynes stays in charge.
Haynes doing what he needs to do to take home the checkered flag, holding off the likes of Eisenhower and Alan Fox as they come out of turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Alan Fox gets a little bit of a run now. He's going to try to close into the back bumper of Eisenhower as we see Haynes go to the bottom of the racetrack. Eisenhower now goes to the bottom. Fox stays in that middle groove, but can't quite make it work. He's still going to be about a car length separating each driver from the one in front. As they're now coming across the line, it is going to be 5 laps to go. Who will come out on top? Who will be able to have the most stuff left on their tires as the laps continue to wind down at Kansas?
And to be a driver in this position right now is a tough one, especially if you know your car has a little bit of damage. You know, you're going to be trying to get up there and battle for that lead, but you know you're a little bit slower here, as it looks like that time by the 29 sucks up to the number 10 machine. Gary May gets a draft and pulls away from Eisenhower and Fox, and with 5 laps to go here at Kansas, can Rob Haynes hold off the 86 and the 73 to pretty much, he dominated a good portion of this race, and he's just got to close it and put the stamp on it now.
He is definitely going to try and do that here as he now goes to the bottom of the racetrack once more with Eisenhower now following suit. Alan Fox gets checked up just a little bit by the lap traffic of Gary May as they come across the line. He's going to lose a little bit of time now, about half a second from him and the leader as they come across. Still, Eisenhower trying to find any which way to get the right amount of grip to close back up to the back bumper of Rob Haynes. Down the back straightaway they go. He gets a little bit of a draft. Last time by, those two ran almost identical lap times there, with the likes of Alan Fox about a 10th off as they come into 3 and 4.
And Alan Fox dwindling back, now almost half of a second from the leader, as Rob Haynes and Eisenhower are the only two cars left to battle. Fox continues to fall back, and now it's going to be Haynes and Eisenhower, a two-car, not a tango, but a two-car battle here as they have those lap-down cars coming. I'm not sure if that'll influence how they run, but time is running out, Taylor.
It certainly is, and I think Eisenhower gets a great run off of turns 3 and 4. He is right there, back to the back bumper of Rob Haynes as they come across the line. Let's see what the gap is. It is down to a 10th of a second as they catch up to the lap traffic now. Who's going to utilize that as a slipstream to help try and find a way to get around each other as they come out of turn 2 down the back straightaway? Both of them decide to stay up towards the top of the racetrack to get by the likes of Senesac, Sterling, and I believe now the 33 of Weishart is in that pack as they come out of turns 3 and 4. As we are closing in to the final 2 laps here at Kansas Speedway, who will come out on top?
White flag in the air here at Kansas as Rob Haynes leads them into 1 and 2. The number 86 of Eisenhower is going to try to get that draft coming down the back straightaway. He's only got 2 more corners to do it.
2 more corners to go now. Rob Haynes currently holding strong. Adam Eisenhower goes to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to find any way he can to close that gap, but I think it's too little, too late. Rob Haynes, in a dominating fashion in the second half, will win here at Kansas Speedway.
Adam Eisenhower and Alan Fox will follow him for 2nd and 3rd respectively. And then you're going to have David Elliott, Jerry Glenn. They're battling. Well, not really battling, but Jerry Glenn and Tyler Hallman are for that 5th spot. And it looks like it's going to be Jerry Glenn getting the 5th position over Tyler Hallman. And that is all of your lead lap cars there. Only 6 of them on the lead lap.
And with that, we're going to take a quick short break, but when we come back, we're going to give you a full fuel rundown and also talk to your podium finishers here tonight for the Ricmotech Super Extreme Cup Series here at Kansas. We'll be right back.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing!
Welcome back to the virtual Kansas Speedway, and we have just completed the final round of the regular season here for the Ricmotech Extreme Cup Series. But before we go to our winners, let us take a look at the Ford Entertainment Group full race results. Your winner today, Rob Haynes, will take home the checkered flag here at Kansas, followed by Adam Eisenhower in second. Alan Fox will come home in third, with David Elliott fourth, and Jerry Glenn rounding out your top five. Tyler Holloman will come home in sixth as the last car on the lead lap, followed by Gary May, Bryce Senesac, Nick Hunt, and Ed Morris rounding out your top 10.
David Weishart in the number 33 machine is going to be finishing in 9 laps down in 11th, followed by John Sterling. Michael Mueller, M. Scottless Rambler in 14th, Mike Rominger in 15th, Travis Pryor in 16th, then Darren Clement, Joshua Gillen, Mike Franklin, and Jay Pryor to round out your top 20, and then Jason Eisenhower, Randy Perdue, and Tommy Haynes to round out the field. We had a whopping almost 10, 12 drivers that were not able to finish under their own power here tonight.
And that was quite unfortunate, especially for those who were having chase implications. But that has been a look at the FEG full race results. FEG PC has been serving the iRacing community with custom-built affordable computers specifically built and tuned for iRacing. Your PC will come with everything you need preloaded so you can get racing as soon as it hits your doorsteps. Get yours today and join the 600 plus iRacers already enjoying an FEG PC. PCs to fit every budget from $540 and up. Visit www.fegpc.net and mention the code LSRTV10. That's LSRTV10 and get your bill quote today. With that, we are now going to speak to our race winner, Rob Haynes, winner at Kansas. And as we get him up into the booth, Rob, congratulations. There he is, Rob Haynes, the winner here tonight at Kansas Speedway. Congratulations. I tell you what, you put on quite a dominating performance in the second half of that race.
Thanks, Taylor. Appreciate it, man. Steve, Taylor, man, I'm excited. I just came in here just hanging on to a chase spot. Man, I knew I needed to perform here tonight. Practice pit stops. I've had a lot of trouble with pit stops all year long, and practiced them tonight. And man, it paid off, and I'm ecstatic, man.
With that, how is that momentum going to help you as we get ready to make towards the playoff, especially as we head to Atlanta, a track that's a little bit more unforgiving on tires?
Oh, I think I just got to hang on to that momentum. I've been close a couple times this season. Those wins have been a little bit elusive. Had some trouble on pit road early in a couple of races, and just mistakes. And tonight it was mistake free, and that's what it takes to get a win here at Extreme Motorsports 99.
And congratulations on that win. Before we let you go, is there anybody you would like to thank?
Yeah, of course. You guys at LSR TV, thanks for everything you've done for us so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season here and getting this chase underway. Downforce Motorsports, my teammates, KC Designs for this awesome paint job, Ford Entertainment Group, Sim Graphics, Extreme Motorsports 99 for putting all this on. Ricmotech. Oh, man, the sponsors just keep going, man. But I love these guys, and I'm having fun. Norton Graphics, too. We'll throw that in there. And thanks. I appreciate what you guys are doing. Steve, Taylor, I hope the broadcast was fun tonight, man.
And we appreciate that. And we thank you for putting on a great show for us here tonight. That was Rob Haynes, your race winner, as Steve Bonesteel will be sitting with our second place driver, Alan Fox.
Nope. Actually, our second place driver, Adam Eisenhower, I had to push my way down on pit road there. Alan Fox is trying to cut in line, but Adam, I've caught up with you here. You came away with second position. You almost had him for the lead there to come down to it with about 5 laps to go. Talk to us there about you and Alan having to chase down the leader. What was that like here at Kansas Motor Speedway?
Well, it was coming out of the pits. He beat me out of the pits, and the run before that, I was a little faster than him, and I thought I was a little faster than him on the long run, and considering, I think, some of the damage on our cars. But we got out there and lined up, and I thought maybe I'd try to go around him if he were a little slower. But I thought I'll wait a couple laps and see if we chip anything away, and we started taking about a tenth off a lap, and I thought, well, why upset a good thing, and let's try to run him down. And I thought we had plenty of time to do it if we kept it at that pace. So just hung in line and pushed, tried to run the same line and push him down the straights. And sure enough, we run him down.
Well, with the laps dwindling down pretty quickly there, you were right there with about 5 to go, and then Alan was right behind you, and then all of a sudden Alan fell off. Is there anything you would have done differently there to try to take that lead with 5 laps to go or so?
No, I don't think so. The Sim Speed Shop Camaro was fast. I don't know, how much I had for Rob. Once Alan went to the low line to try to make that pass for the lead, I thought I'm going to stick myself up on top there and take the dominant line away and make him check up a little bit, get behind me, and that'd put me in the seat right behind him. But I didn't have enough. I lost. I was losing ground, and I was losing ground in 3 and 4, but I was making it up in 1 and 2. Rob was getting a little loose coming off the turn, and I could make up the ground, make a run to maybe 2 or 3 car lengths, 3 car lengths maybe. At least what it looked like to my view. And then, he'd make that up when coming out of 4, and we just would trade that way. And then those lap cars with the string of 3, just circumstance coming down to that last lap or coming to the white flag. That was tough because I couldn't run any other line to try to make anything happen coming out of 4. So, it's not the reason I lost for sure, but I wanted to see it a little bit different way.
Well, before we head off to the 3rd place finisher, who do you have to thank, Adam, here tonight for getting your car up to 2nd place, even with a little bit of damage?
Yeah, thanks simspeedshop.com for putting a good button box next to me that I can make these changes and green flag pit stops happen in a quick and efficient manner. Thanks to Extreme Motorsports 99, all the sponsors, Ricmotech, Premier Private Car Service, and so on and so forth. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but everybody who supports Extreme Motorsports 99, as well as you guys who put on a great show for us that we can go back and watch and send to our friends and family, and my dad and Deacon and a few other Tammy and a few other friends are watching tonight. So felt good to finally put on a decent show for them rather than a 21st or a 22nd. Tonight's a second. Feels good.
Well, congratulations. You definitely worked hard for it, and thanks for coming up here to talk to us.
Right on, guys. Have a great week.
And with that, we are now moving to our 3rd place finisher, Alan Fox. Alan started on the pole, dropped back a little bit, then, of course, work your way back up, drop back a little bit. But now, here you are, finishing 3rd. Tell us about your up and down night.
Well, it's probably hard to know it up there when you guys are calling this race live, but for me, that was all planned. Once I lost the lead there around lap 10, got shuffled back to, I think, 3rd, maybe 5th. I was on the inside line. I saw him getting 3, sometimes 4 wide behind me. I was like, I'm going to check out of here and keep the car clean and just try and make it to the end.
Well, that strategy indeed worked out for you for a 3rd place finish, even though with that damage on the car. Tell me how the car did handle for you, though, with that damage.
I was feeling fast. When me and Adam got hooked up there, we ran down Rob. I think we were about 2.5 seconds back after pit stops, and the draft just made such a big difference. We would gain even a little bit when he would catch some lap cars, but we knew we were going to run him down. I got a little impatient there. Thought I had the fastest car, so I stuck it down on the bottom 1 lap, burned the tires up, and just couldn't get back to him.
Well, with this now, as we get ready to go into the playoffs, how confident do you feel as we go to Atlanta next week?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a learning curve for me with the Cup car. I came from the K&N series last year, the Extreme K&N Doug Design Pro Series. Did really well there, learned a lot. I just got iRacing back in October, so still learning a lot of things, trying to learn how to manage the tires so I don't get impatient and burn them up too early. So as long as I can keep having these clean, consistent finishes and maybe pop a win out here, I think I'll be sitting pretty good going into these last 5 races.
All right, well, we look forward to that. Is there anyone you would like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody over at Primetime Motorsports, we put a lot of work into that this year, getting everybody ready through all of our series. Garrett Heath in the Doug Design Pro Series, like I mentioned, he's taking the points lead into the playoffs. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody in the trucks. Ed's in on Wednesday nights in the Sim Speed Shop Series. And then I believe, I just have to double check the points, all 4 of our drivers in the Cup Series will be in the chase. So for our team to take up 1/3 of the entire chase in this series is pretty impressive. So I definitely got to thank them for their hard work. Rick for giving me the opportunity to move up to the Cup Series after one season. There was a little bit of a scheduling mishap there, but it worked out in our favor, and he had faith in me to let me come in. Obviously, all the sponsors and you guys, of course, for putting on these great broadcasts every week.
With that, congratulations for finishing on the third place on the podium, and we look forward to seeing you at the next round at Atlanta.
Thanks, guys. Should be a fun race. I'll see you next week.
And with that, it is time that we come to a close. But don't worry, we have more great racing action coming to you on Monday night at 9 p.m., August 26th, for the Real Sim Racing Cup Series at Darlington. If you'd like to learn more information about some of the shows that we have here on LSR TV, make sure to visit our website at livesimracing.com, on Facebook at LSR TV Official, or on Twitter at LSR TV. For myself, Steve Bonesteel, and Hugo Luis, we will catch you next Thursday, August 29th, from the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway for the start of the chase. The race and every race of the 2019 Ricmotech Cup Series can be found right here on LSR TV and the iRacing Esports Network. So before you leave, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button and the bell to be alerted for when we bring you the great coverage at the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway. With that, until next time, good night from Kansas.